Hey, it's Brandon, and welcome to Retro Reactions, a place where I experience amazing music from the 70s, 80s, and 90s for the very first time. And today we're going to be traveling all the way back to 1980, 1982, 1986, and 1989 to listen to Living in the Plastic Age by the Buggles, Time Again by Asia, When the Heart Rules the Mind by GTR, and Order of the Universe by Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman, and Howe. And this Almost Yes playlist comes courtesy of my amazing supporter here and over on Patreon, Rob Heckman. So thank you so much, Rob, for leading me back into the 80s with these legendary Yes members. All right, we'll start with Living in the Plastic Age by the Buggles. It comes from The Age of Plastic, their first studio album. It was the second single and comments on the coldness of the culture of plastic technology in the 1970s. Here we have Yes members Jeff Downs and Trevor Horn. Let's go. Let's see if it sounds anything like Video Killed the Radio Star. Interesting. Love that chorus. there's more. Ooh. Wow. Wow, a lot happened there. Beautiful on my ears, all those keyboard parts. I would call this one dazzling, very snappy, so many melodic moments, but with a lot of kind of drama here and there, a lot of whimsy. Wow, that was quite the ride. Yeah, I just had to look it up. Wikipedia is calling this progressive pop, among other things. As far as this album, I was listening, I'm like, this sounds like progressive synth pop. It was such a joy to listen to. Lots of cool 80s effects being placed on the music right from the start. It was cool. Their vocals were kind of being tuned, out of tune, up and down. Delays happening. That was so cool. And then the big frantic 80s sound kicks in. That frantic pace. Perfect. You know, 80s keyboard energy really cannot be replicated. I hear it. I know exactly what decade I'm in. This felt like Video Killed the Radio Star on steroids. I loved everything that was happening. Many twists and turns. You don't always get that in a pop or synth pop song. And pure 80s vocals by Trevor. Such an 80s sound and 80s vocal delivery. Again, that cannot be replicated. So I got to appreciate that. Great singer, obviously, whether in Yes or something like this. The song, I love how it kind of blossomed out, in and out as we went through. I think in the chorus it got bigger with those bigger synth washes. That female operatic voice, that was lovely as well. So many amazing, catchy, ultra catchy melodies in this song, especially in those keys. I love the snappy, whimsical melodies here, there, all around, coming in and out at will. Great stuff. This really was a treasure trove of synth goodness. I did appreciate that acoustic guitar that came in beautifully on the right. A nice surprise, a nice contrast, but just enjoy the ride, this high energy ride from start to finish. It was cool how it kind of wound down at the end, slowly into nothing. A perfect 80s song. How could I not? It's getting the Epic Platinum Record Award, yes, for Living in the Plastic Age by the Buggles, 1980. All right, on to Time Again by Asia. It comes from Asia, their first studio album, which hit #1 in the US. The song explores themes of trust, disappointment, and repetitive patterns of behavior in a relationship. Here we have Yes members Steve Howe and once again Jeff Downs. Let's go. Coming in hard.
Want for nothing, but it's nothing what you need. Always pushing, though you're never satisfied. I did believe you till I found out that you lied. Time and time again,
That was nice.
What I give you, I get nothing in return. Can't forgive you watching all your bridges burn. All day long I sat and watched you do it wrong. I have to say that's how you did it all along. Time and time again. Time and time again. Again. But others learned, it seemed that you could only see. When someone showed you, then why was it always me? You knew the limit, you were always out of bounds. How could I trust you and how could you mess around? Time and time again. Time and time again. Time and time again. Again.
I can breathe now. Wow. Thought the first song was a lot. This one, the rock energy, the energy in general, just above the clouds. Wow, what a ride that was. Different from the first one, of course. So it is Asia. I've come to expect this huge, powerful sound, this huge energy based on the few that I've heard and reacted to. So yeah, they're coming in big and bold right from the start. I'll take it. Carl Palmer on drums, commanding my attention right from the start. He just, you know, wow. Everyone, of course, matching Carl. Huge atmospheric sound all over the place. We get John Wetton on lead vocals. Got more of a rock voice than the first singer, Trevor. But so much power and energy in his delivery. Naturally, I'm going to enjoy it. That breakdown, interlude, whatever you want to call it, so cool. The timing of the guitars as they came in, you know what I mean. That was a great moment. I got it a couple times, 2 or 3 times. So nice. And then boom, back up into the heavens. A superb chorus, of course. I love the backing vocals on that chorus. I also loved how they rearranged the words, the title of the song. They could have just sang time and again or time again, but the way they did it, repeated things, moved things around. It took me a while. I was trying to sing along, but that made it more memorable. We get a killer, classic, frantic electric guitar solo, I'm assuming by Steve Howe. We all know how amazing he is. The tone of Steve's guitar there, so cool. It had that hard kind of carving sound. You know what guitar does to my soul. Electric guitar, of course. Just so many power punches of musical energy right to the last note. The whole song was like a big power punch to my soul, my musical soul. And that's definitely one thing that Asia does best. It's easily getting the Epic Platinum Record Award, yes, for Time Again by Asia, 1982. All right, now on to an exciting duo of gentlemen. We're talking about When the Heart Rules the Mind by GTR. It comes from GTR, their first and only album, which hit number 11 in the US. The song was a single, reaching number 14. It explores the internal struggle between following one's heart, chasing dreams, and the importance of self-reflection and self-control. And here we have Yes member Steve Howe and Genesis member Steve Hackett. Let's check it out. Great bass.
When the heart rules the mind, one look and love is blind.
Wow. Just like the last song, more big rock energy in this one right from the get-go. I love that. This is the first time I'm hearing Max Bacon on lead vocals. Never even heard of him until now. I really loved his voice. It gave me strong hints of Dennis DeYoung, of course from Styx, and that's a most wonderful thing. Smooth, expressive, and powerful vocals. Such an 80s rock chorus. I love it. Definitely. Lots of great harmonies throughout. I think verses and chorus. So that was amazing. Like I said, big energy, huge energy in the majority of the song. But there was this nice little calm breakdown happened early on. We got acoustic guitar strums. I'll take those any day, any night. As to be expected, another soaring electric guitar solo here. I just don't know which Steve gave that to us, but I loved it. Then around the 60% mark, a wonderful turn. I'm calling it a surprise Middle Eastern-esque monstrous vibe. Whatever happened there was cool, different from everything else. And then we got quiet again before moving right back into that huge energy. I swear I was hearing this. It sounded like there were backing vocals on the deep left and deep right, but they were processed almost sounding like keyboard notes, keyboard chords. So let me know if that's true. I swear I heard those and I really enjoyed that uniqueness. I think the final words sung were seasons will change, follow your dreams, something like that. Of course, a very powerful note to end on. But then the music in the last minute, whatever it was, beautiful. These kind of airy, soaring arpeggios and guitars floating around. Cool. It's like we're ending on a high, but a very calm high, and I enjoyed that for sure. And I'm happy to announce that this one has crossed over the line to receive the Double Epic Platinum Record Award. Yes, for When the Heart Rules the Mind by GTR, 1986. All right, and we'll end today with what I have to assume is an epic, Order of the Universe by ABWH. It comes from Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman Howe, their first and only studio album, which hit number 14 in the UK and number 30 in the US. It was the third single released in the UK. It's broken into 4 sections titled Order Theme, Rock Gives Courage, It's So Hard to Grow, and The Universe. The song explores themes of self-discovery, courage, and the quest for personal fulfillment while recognizing the role of the individual in the grand scheme of the universe. And of course here, all 4 were Yes members. Let's go. change. Love those abrupt turns.
You don't need anybody, don't you give me that surprise. Everything about you's inside your eyes. You don't need anybody in your family ties. You crossed over the river. You don't need anybody, deserve all your friends. It's just the love you give them.
one more. They did that just for me. 4 gongs and chimes. What a glorious way to end. Quite surprising, but I loved it. So a big epic start. That seems to be a recurring theme in this video. And I'm so happy that we got Bill's Simmons electric drums. Heaven on my ears. At least they were there in the first part. Amazing stuff. Great arpeggios going on around me. I know Rick was working his magic throughout the song. I'm sure he had plenty of parts here. Really enjoyed the bass and bass drums in that section. I think Tony Levin was doing the bass guitar. It all felt so, high in the sky, or I should say high up in the universe once again. Yes, and these members of Yes have a knack for doing that. Really great world building in this first part. I was happy to hear the choir come in. I knew they were on the album, but I didn't know if I was going to get them on this song. So, of course, that was a cherry on top. Then, of course, John comes in for the second part. Onward, sounding amazing as usual. He seemed to be really going off vocally in this song. And he seemed to be very, very high up there. Seems like he gets higher every time I hear him. I know that's not true, but I just love him way up there. And I'm still jealous. So, of course, we're in part 2. I was trying to figure out when parts 3 and 4 started, but 2 and 3 seem to be very similar and very rock heavy. They definitely seem to switch to the acoustic drums on this section. Very hard hitting, always amazing by Bill. Then they blast into part 3. I love how there's no pauses in between sections. That's pretty interesting. Part 3 seemed even more rockier. So again, that high energy by everyone involved. I like how the lyrics, the order of the universe, kept coming back. The choir came back, kind of tied all the sections together. That was nice. Then we move, I guess, to part 4 with that awesome, gigantic drum and percussion moment. Very different, very interesting. Rapid fire, felt very ammunition-like. Wow. And like part 1, part 4, a nice contrast to the 2 middle sections. If I have my divisions right in between each part. I was hearing a little whimsy happening melodically. Something foreign, exotic sounding. Can't remember it all, but definitely quieter, calmer, very interesting on my ears. And then boom, we get into those 4 gongs and chimes that I talked about. A beautiful and most surprising way to end. With all this energy, those gongs just kind of stopped me in my tracks, froze me, took hold of me, and let me enjoy those beautiful sounds, which we don't get enough. More gong, please. So 4 excellent songs today, no surprise at all. Look at all these legends we're talking about. This one's also getting the Double Epic Platinum Record Award. Yes, for Order of the Universe by Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman, and Howe, 1989. And thank you so very much for this awesome, powerful journey today, as expected. Jeff Downs, Trevor Horn, John Wetton, Steve Howe, Carl Palmer, Steve Hackett, Max Bacon, Phil Spalding, Jonathan Mover, John Anderson, Bill Bruford, Rick Wakeman, anyone else involved, and of course, the amazing Rob Heckman. All right, that is it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope you love these as well. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment down below if you wish to chat about these 4 epics. I would love to know what you think. Maybe which one is your favorite. So you take care, stay safe, stay hydrated, and remember to let peace, calm, and light into your day and night. And I'll see you next time in the past.